Some stories start with a bang. This one starts with a tractor and a man. A man named Ferruccio Lamborghini, born in 1916 on a farm, dirt under his fingernails and the smell of engine oil in his lungs. He was a mechanical genius. Cogs, pistons, metal. He loved machines. All machines. The bigger and more powerful, the better. Not afraid to get his hands dirty. Roll up your sleeves kind of chap. But he was practical. He expected things to work properly. A car that cost a fortune should be engineered like a masterpiece, not cobbled together like a garden shed. This is where our story begins. The moment the fuse was lit. The legend goes like this. Trouble with the clutch on his Ferrari 250 GT. It kept breaking, fragile, agricultural. He took it apart. And what did he find? A clutch identical to his tractor parts, paying for a racehorse, getting donkey innards. He was, to put it mildly, annoyed. This was not on. This was an insult to his mechanical soul. So, what do you do when you are a self-made millionaire industrialist and you discover the world's most famous sports car uses parts from a farm vehicle? You don't just write a strongly worded letter. You get in your car and you drive to Maranello. You go to see the man himself, the Pope of Performance, Enzo Ferrari. Ferruccio, with the confidence of a man who builds things that plow fields, walked in and told Enzo straight up, "Your clutches are rubbish." He even offered helpful advice from his heavy-duty machinery experience. Enzo Ferrari did not take criticism well. He was imperious, a king in his kingdom of speed. He looked down his nose at the upstart tractor maker. He said words that changed automotive history. The exact phrasing is lost, but the sentiment was clear. The problem isn't the car, it's the driver. You stick to driving your tractors. You will never be able to handle a Ferrari properly. An atom bomb of an insult. He might as well have slapped him with a leather driving glove. You do not say that to a man like Ferruccio Lamborghini. He wasn't just insulted. He was enraged. A fire was lit inside him, a furious, brilliant, magnificent fire. He walked away with a singular, granite-hard purpose. He thought, fine. If you won't build a proper car, I will. It was a decision born of spite, not market research. And thank heavens for that. The plan was simple and completely mad. He would build his own car, not just any car, a better car than a Ferrari, a Grand Tourer, a GT that was faster, more comfortable, more reliable. A car for a gentleman who wanted blistering speed without the backache and the constant trips to the mechanic. He would show Enzo. He would show the world. The tractor maker was going to war. He was going to build a weapon of shocking beauty and devastating power. The world had absolutely no idea what was coming. In 1963, the gauntlet was thrown down. Ferruccio founded Automotive Lamborghini. He didn't mess about. He built a state-of-the-art factory in Sant'Agata Bolognese, right in Ferrari's backyard. A deliberate poke in the eye. He went on a hiring spree, poaching brilliant minds, including engineers who had stormed out of Ferrari. He was assembling his own team of Avengers. The first car was the 350 GT. It was a statement. Not a raw racer like a Ferrari, but elegant, sophisticated, and comfortable. Under the bonnet, a quad-cam V12 by Giotto Bizzarini. Smoother, more powerful, more advanced. A proper Grand Tourer, crossing continents at immense speed. The world took notice. This wasn't a joke. The car was a success. It proved Lamborghini was serious. It proved the tractor maker had a point. It still followed the rules. Front engine, rear drive. Ferruccio had built a better Ferrari. Now his young, ambitious team wanted to change the game. Behind Ferruccio's back, engineers sketched a radical racing chassis for the road. They took the massive V12 and mounted it sideways, right behind the driver's head. A mid-engine layout. This was Le Mans tech for the high street. Ferruccio saw the genius. He saw the future, and gave the green light. The raging bull was about to be unleashed. What they built was not just a car, it was a thunderbolt. The 1966 Lamborghini Miura. When the covers came off, jaws hit the floor and shattered. Nothing on earth looked like it. Low, wide, impossibly beautiful, curves both aggressive and sensual. Penned by a young Marcello Gandini with headlights that popped like sleepy eyelashes. More sculpture than machine. Stunning. Perfect. The world's first ever supercar. The mid-engine balance gave agility no road car had known. And the noise, that glorious V 12 inches behind your ears, snarling to the red line. It was faster than a Ferrari Daytona. It looked better than any Ferrari. It created the poster car generation. Every schoolboy wanted a Miura on his wall. Lamborghini wasn't just a rival, it was the new king of cool. Ferrari, front-engined and formal, suddenly felt a bit stuffy. Lamborghini was rock and roll. Youth, rebellion, outrageous style, peacock colors, lime green, bright orange, sunshine yellow. Loud, flamboyant, unapologetic. A Lamborghini was a statement, daring, successful, possibly a little bit mad. Ferruccio had done it, not just a better car, a new category. If the Miura was a beautiful dream, the next car was a wedge-shaped nightmare of speed. In 1974, Lamborghini unleashed the Countach. Its very name was an exclamation. Pure shock value. Brutal planes, aggressive angles, as if folded by an angry god. Automotive theater. And those doors. Up, not out. Brilliantly unnecessary. Fantastically cool. The definitive supercar of the 70s and 80s. A legend. A myth. A poster on a million walls. Truth be told, it was a pig to live with. You couldn't see out the back. The cabin was hotter than the sun. The clutch heavier than a dead elephant. But none of that mattered. You didn't buy a Countach for practicality. You bought the feeling. A spaceship for the road, a four-wheeled rebellion. But the real world had a problem. The 1973 oil crisis hit. Fuel prices soared. Governments imposed speed limits. Big V12s seemed obscene. The market evaporated. Lamborghini's order books dried up. A company of passion, light on financial sense, was in deep trouble. The dream turned sour. The crisis was brutal. Ferruccio sold his stake in 1974 and returned to a vineyard. The company bearing his name drifted, changing owners like a hot potato. Swiss Mimrans, Chrysler, a Malaysian group, trying to keep the flame alive with the Diablo. It was a raging bull, wounded and lost. Through the 80s and 90s, Lamborghini lurched on. The Countach evolved, wings and arches. Then came the Diablo. Under Chrysler, the Diablo was more refined, even offered all-wheel drive. A dose of safety for the V12 beast. But finances stayed precarious. A small, independent fighting giants. Passion and drama, but not money. Losses mounted. Passed from owner to owner. Grand plans fizzled. A sad time, the most exciting brand on life support. It needed a savior, deep pockets, engineering rigor, and respect for its lunatic soul. In 1998, salvation came from Germany. Audi, under Volkswagen Group, bought Lamborghini. There was worry. Would the sensible Germans neuter the bull? Turbo diesels? Everything painted silver? The fears were unfounded. Audi knew they'd purchased a legend. They wouldn't change Lamborghini. They'd make it better, and make it work. They poured in billions. Stability, technology, quality control. The factory modernized, engineering into the 21st century. Cars started properly. The electronics worked. You could drive in the rain without fear. The 2001 Murcielago arrived, a savage, loud, dramatic V12 beautifully built. The bull was back, stronger than ever. Under Audi's stewardship, Lamborghini didn't just survive, it thrived. They launched a second, smaller model alongside the big V12s, the Gallardo. A screaming V10, reliable all-wheel drive, the everyday Lamborghini. The best seller in company history, taking drama to a new audience. Followed by the even better Huracan. And the big V12s? More unhinged than ever. Murcielago gave way to Aventador, carbon fiber, stealth fighter looks, and missile pace. Then came the Revuelto, a hybrid V12, moving with the times without losing its soul. The engine still screamed, the doors still went up, the colors stayed ridiculous. German parents let the Italian child run wild, but tidy its room. The perfect partnership. And the rivalry with Ferrari? It's still there. It's the bedrock of the supercar world. Ferrari is still the race team that sells road cars, heritage, track performance, red-blooded purity. Lamborghini remains the rebel, the statement car about drama, design, and shouting louder than anyone else. One is a rapier, the other is a broadsword. They force each other to be better, more exciting, more brilliant. The world is a much, much better place for having both. And so we end where we began, with that farmer, Ferruccio Lamborghini, a man who took a simple insult and used it as fuel to build an empire of dreams.